Hello, I'm Jeff Cavins, and today we're looking at the readings for the Feast of the Most Holy Trinity. In all three readings this week, we learned so much about the nature of God and who God is. Clear back in Deuteronomy chapter 4, in the very first reading, we find out that there is no other God. There isn't a God for the trees and a God for the lake and a God for the river. There's only one God, and that's the unique contribution that Abraham made in the Old Testament, and Moses brings this out in spades. And we come to the New Testament and we have a clear vision that God is a Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. In fact, in the gospel reading, the Gospel of Matthew ends by saying, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you, and behold, I am with you always to the close of the age." That's a beautiful text at the end of Matthew's Gospel that mentions all three persons of the Trinity. But here's something that's beautiful for you and beautiful for me. In Romans chapter 8, Paul brings out our relationship with God, and that is as sons. In fact, we cry out, "Abba, Father." The Father eternally loves the Son, and the Son eternally loves the Father. And the love between the Father and the Son, the church tells us, that's the Holy Spirit, three persons in one. And guess what? Paul tells us that we have been invited into the love of the Trinity. Listen to what Paul says in Romans chapter 8, starting in verse 14. "For all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received the spirit of sonship. When we cry, 'Abba, Father,' it is the Spirit himself bearing witness with our spirit that we are children of God, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ." Get this though, "provided we suffer with him, in order that we may also be glorified with him." The good news for you on this beautiful feast of the Most Holy Trinity is that there is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but you have been invited into the life of the Trinity, and you have not received a spirit of slavery. If you're experiencing that in your life right now, be free and become a son, become a daughter. God is Abba to us. If you've ever been to Israel, you'll hear the little kids in the street crying out for their father, "Abba, Abba." We don't run around screaming, "Master, Master," but Father, Papa, Abba. We are children of God. We are heirs of God. But being an heir and being a child of God also means we participate with the Trinity in the work of salvation, which means we also suffer, and that suffering is our entrance into the glorification, that we will also share the glory with God in the end. And that's the good news for this beautiful feast of the Most Holy Trinity.